Here on some settings in Farming Simulator. I'm currently running a Razer Blade 15 laptop from 2020. It's got a Core i7-10750H. I'm running 32GB of RAM, DDR4 laptop RAM. I have the game installed on a 2TB Crucial P3 NVMe drive, and I have an RTX 2070 Max Q, which is running 8GB of VRAM, and the top right you can see the frame rate and the GPU utilization, temperature, and the CPU utilization. So I'm just going to go through here and change a few settings. So I'm going to turn VSync off, unlimit the frame limit. I run in full screen, resolution 100%, otherwise you're running it at a lesser resolution or more, and downscaling or upscaling. And I'm running very high settings at the minute, and the one setting I have DLSS turned off, and all of these frame gen, the post processing and frame generation from Nvidia, Intel and AMD turned off at the minute, and these will remain off for the duration of this retest. And I'm going to be testing at 1920 by 1080, which is the screen that I have on this laptop. So I'm going to start up just a new game, Easy Farmer. This way there's going to be, I'm going to disable all mods, so this is just running new game as it should be, just the base game with whatever equipment is started off. I have run this map before, so all the shaders should be built, and you will notice when you change your settings to different things in all of your when you change all of your settings and your graphic settings and your texture resolutions and everything, your GPU will have to build up the shader cache every time you change those settings. So if when you change settings you think it's a bit laggy, that's okay. It'll be like that for the first time or first couple of times that you do run around the map or drive around different vehicles. And when you purchase a new vehicle for a new time or go to a new part of the map, you will notice a wee stutter sometimes. That's normal. The game will allow for that, and it'll build that shader cache, so the next time you go there it'll already know what that piece of the map should look like. as you can see, the game is sitting around that 30 to 35 FPS mark. And I'm just going to get a work going in this field. That's one thing I found with the workers, you have to be starting in the field nearly for them, or else they struggle quite in the field. Go into a different field than that. For me personally, I do run these settings because it's a farming game and you are moving a lot slower. You don't notice that you're sitting at 35 or so FPS. Okay, so now we're back in now. I've dropped down to high settings and I have kept everything just standard as what they are, and if you drop down DLSS, Fidelity Fx, all that's turned off again, so I don't need to worry about any of that, and I'll just do the same. I'll turn off the guided tour this time, and I'll just turn off all the mods in this game again. So we'll have a look now as to what this will look like and run. Yeah, so into the game again. We'll throw on the frames. See, this is the stuttering that I mentioned. You can see it'll take a wee second to tick in. Normally I just spin around to go for a wee drive. Building up that folder for cache. And again, I just set this worker off just so that it evens out exactly onto the CPU a bit. As you can see immediately, we're not a massive drop in how the game looks. You are getting about 10 frame uplift. That stuttering will still remain as it is still building between the different things so you can see it is about 5 to 10 FPS more in the lower set and the slightly lower settings. It's still high. Trees there, as you get to the second FPS, where you will get higher, until it actually has all of the trees on them. Just still that's better. Nothing still, but that's normal. having a wee bit of a lag spike. Yeah, as I said, it's a farming game. You're not driving 120 kilometers an hour or that, so the lower frame rate isn't as choppy. You'll see it moving more if you're moving around, but whenever you're driving, it's not as noticeable as if you're playing a racing game, driving faster or higher frame rate needed. But yeah, so that's high settings. We'll take a wee run on now and we'll head into medium, low, and then we'll try ultra as well and see what happens. So yeah, we'll go in now, change down to medium settings. We'll just take a double check that it doesn't turn on the DLSS. And DLSS, that is Nvidia's scaling software that helps boost FPS. So you'll notice if you do use that, some of the textures will be slightly worse. Especially the biggest hit on it is the decals on the machines. But it makes a big difference whenever you're using that compared to when you're not, and when you're just rendering the game at its native resolution. But that helps for people that use a higher monitor than what the graphics card can use. So this 2070, it is very much a 1080p card, but it can run at 1440 if you do use the DLSS. And DLSS, there's a few different versions of it, and the newer the generation of your Nvidia GPU, the better it is, but it's only available on RTX series cards. So if you have a GTX 9, 10 or even 16 series cards, the 1650s or the 1070s, any of them, you will not be able to make use of this, as it is a new thing. So we'll just get the frame rate up here again. So building up a wee bit of the cache here as we turn around. You can see there immediately you're hitting 45 FPS, so you're getting another 5 FPS on what we had previously. Okay, you can see for the first time there we're hitting that 60 hertz and 60 FPS, sorry. And you're seeing we're slightly above the 60. I've got VSync and frame limit turned off and up to 240, so that'll be rendering the game to as much as the graphics card and the CPU can handle. You can see we're up to 70 FPS, so it is quite a difference, but you do notice that objects in the difference are getting in the distance and being rendered quite low, and the crops do look quite considerably less detailed than components, and the shadows you'll notice are slightly worse as well. But yeah, we are sitting just below or just above that 60, so we're sitting pretty comfortable around that 60 mark. So if you do need to run 60, you are able to notice that difference quite easily, then by all means you'll have to drop down to 70. But to me, the game looks nicer, looking nicer than running it at 60 FPS is more important to me. So personal preference, you can see there the jaggedness of the shadows on the road as you're driving. As you do look down, you're going to higher FPS and just less to render. Okay, you can see quite a noticeable difference in the smoothness of the game, but also you've lost a lot of that detail. So again, if you do want it, those settings to run smoother, you can do that. And this laptop is from 2020, so it is 4 years old, so to be running still at these settings is quite decent. We're going to drop down to low settings here now, and this is where we will notice quite a difference, and there's even very low, and we'll just double check that this doesn't turn on. Yes, so this has turned on some of these settings, that's fine. Render quality. Lost that setting. Let's go right down to the bottom. No, it's still all on. Mods off again, so benchmarking is one of those things that I've found always to be important, because a lot of people that are playing Farming Simulator aren't used to playing on PC. From my experience, I know a lot of people and a lot of friends near me that are PlayStation or Xbox gamers, or that the only game they can play might be Farming Simulator, so they're not used to playing PC games, and there's a lot of questions about how to install mods off the mod hub I've had, and which to download. And when you buy through Giants, you do have the option to download an IMG file or a zip package, and I've had questions about that and which to download and that. So people are very cautious. What will my PC run this? What will it run like? And people normally say, oh yeah, it'll run, or people will say, no it won't. So you can see there that it's building up some of the shader cache. The textures have all changed now, so that's why it's taking that extra second there. But you can see it starting to look a lot more like a mobile game to me. But yeah, that should be some of the textures starting to be built up now. And that's why it's so choppy here now at the minute. Because there's changed all the resolution of the textures, and you can see the draw distance has changed quite drastically. Whereas previously you were seeing all this green and detail even further away. The reflections on the machines are slightly duller and that, so. But you can see we're up to 80 FPS there. That's just after a second of building the cache, so definitely noticeable change in both smoothness again. And as I say, this laptop has 144Hz screen, so I'm able to see that difference. But to me, the change in quality isn't as good as what the image was. So you can see there where buildings are jumping in and out, but that's just because I haven't used those settings before. So yeah, there's the building. The 1% load there, the number after the FPS is 40. It's like about 40 and another 100 that's just a flood. But you can see there, the dragging on doesn't look as best in the game. So I would recommend the possible. See there, even on the merges especially, how close you draw this and things. The trees as well, they look a lot more technical. Yeah, that's one of the things you have to sacrifice for getting higher quality. You can't just have to duplicate navigation stuff. So we're seeing we're getting a more steady 60 FPS. Now we're getting towards the target map and building up more shoulders. Okay, you can see we're steadily at that 60 mark. That's a lot smoother. So yeah, we'll go down to, there is a further lower settings. You can go down right down to very low. Now I've run very low before when I had a beginner computer. So yeah, we'll go very low and see how this changes. In my opinion, if you can, I'd stay away from very low, but if you are running an older computer and you're waiting for the one where you're running an older laptop even, very low can help very much with being able to run the game to some extent while you are waiting to get a new one. So you'll see the same thing here happen again, where there is no person and there's no textures whenever we load into the game originally. Don't freak out, that's normal. It'll take a wee second here, and if I throw up the FPS while this is happening, you'll see a lot lower resolution on things, and choppiness will still be there as we spin around. But you can see we're already at the 60 mark. So yeah, you can see there we're up to 75 already. You can't see now we're double the FPS from what we were running very high. This laptop is plugged in, so I can extend to up to 27 max Q whenever I do run off the wall and just on the bathroom. It does really generate some graphics card or but 70 FPS so far. Look around the time to see how it looks again. You got it, these are very close again. What this feeling at here is strong as it changes from further distance to the more detail from the rock. There again, where that's how you come from the house. As you are zoomed out further, that's when you start to improve. You're rendering it from behind the tractor, so you're working it out to see. But yeah, very smooth experience to be very interesting. But big difference in how the game looks. You see the atmospheric fogs, colours, and everything. But no shadows. That's the biggest difference. Again, the FPS part, that you're losing the shadows. So yeah, very low. You can tell it is, and you can see there even on the maps, and as we go back here, see. All around. Definitely worth it if you're running a slower rig. But yeah, we're going to go now straight to ultra settings. This is the highest you can go. We go from very low straight to ultra, and we apply that. We'll go back and see now how much of a difference this makes to the gameplay. This will take quite a hit on the graphics card. That will choke the machine a bit more, but it will look like a completely different game from the very low. We won't notice the difference as much flicking through there as we went from high, very high, very high, high, medium, low, very low. Now we're going straight from the lowest that the game can go to the highest preset, and obviously you can go higher. The draw distances and the time that the tire tracks and ruts, etc., all last are lower than what the maximum is. It can all go up to 400%, I think it is. This is set slightly lower than that, so you can see there immediately. I'll pull up the frames, the FPS, and some of these shaders should already be built up from previously, but you can see black down to under 30 FPS. To me, that's not as good. You do notice the choppiness as soon as it hits below that 30 FPS threshold, but you notice the difference and the experience. The cloud feel is a massive difference. And you can see there, sometimes you will be up at that 30 FPS almost again, but the clock looks so much nicer and there's so much more detail in it. Even more better than that, so better than our losing, you can see there down to 20 FPS, so obviously higher than straight up the sky upgrades. And that's what you can see here now. You'll notice this big heavy here. Notice that choppiness already, and that's not right to say the amount of trees and everything especially like water is chugging and shooting the GPUs at 100%. So it's not being bottlenecked by the CPU or anything. But the shadows in here are so much nicer than they have been previously, and you see the brightness to good with the contrast factor, so definitely a far nicer setting, but for a machine with this capability, it looks takes quite a hit. So I think this would be, I'd class this as unplayable, but on a nicer rig, a more expensive rig that you've spent more money on, it would definitely make a difference. So there's one thing now I'll throw on the DLSS, and this machine only has DLSS 1.0 to my knowledge, and that. But if you do run a 30 series, you have DLSS 2.0 and 3.0 etc. on the 40 series and the new 50 series. I'm sure there will be a new one too. So if I go down here and I go on the DLSS, you got performance, quality, and health. So I go balanced, and you can set your target FPS to whatever you want. So, and as you turn these on and turn up your DLSS and everything, I recommend sticking with what yours is. So I've got an Nvidia GPU, so I'll stick with Nvidia's. So if I set that just to maximum of what it can be, and apply that, we'll go back now. This is still an ultra setting, so we'll see. This might make a big difference, and it should, based on my previous experiences with other games. And FarmSim 22 was the first game to include these, and made quite a difference whenever I did turn it on occasionally for running things, because I had 3 or 4 different computers and laptops over the time of FarmSim 22. I had an Asus ZenBook Duo with an 11th gen i7 and no Intel Iris graphics, the built-in ones. So when I used that, I used the Intel's frame gen and upscaling, and I also had a 3060 for a while, and a rig with an i7 3rd gen. Then I had a 2070 desktop GPU as well. I then upgraded to a Ryzen 9 5900X, and then I put that with the 3060 as well, big variant. I had that with 3070 then, I went 3080 as well, and then I went 4070, which I have done with other since because I'm not using the computer as much. But I do still have the 4070 itself, which I use on an external GPU. Sometimes you can see already this frame gen, it learns the DLSS, it's deep learning, super scaling, or something similar to that, but that's just a bit that you maintain the quality. You see there your decals are taking a wee bit of a hit. Yeah, not as bad as these panels or quality. The edge of your shadows might not be as sharp, you see they're a wee bit smoother. But you can see there we are getting slightly higher FPS than what we were in the previous version. We're seeing we're up to 25-30 FPS, more commonly, more regularly than we were. And you see over here we went to 100. Yeah, so you can see it's slightly more stable over here. We're getting 5 FPS, 7 right here. And you're still maintaining that detail within the shadows. So yeah, DLSS. I'm a fan of it, others are concerned about, actually I think I'm not sure if that's the DLSS, the AMD Fidelity Fx, or the iOS version. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll go in now and we'll check out the ultra performance version of DLSS on ultra settings. So this, I'll give an indication of how bottom down this ultra performance. Try this now, and this is going to be rendering the game at a far lower resolution and then scaling it up to 1080p. So yeah, I would call, with this rig and FarmSim 25 in the current state, I would say that anything from very low, from very high and under is playable on this machine. And Ultra, I wouldn't go say it's playable, but with DLSS it will make a difference. And just let it do a bit of its thing. And the longer you play with DLSS, the longer, the better it will learn. It'll get used to different things, but you can see that the sharpness of the combine isn't there, and the shadows there again, but still they're not jagged as they were in the medium and low settings. But you can see ultra settings, we're getting above 30 FPS, so we're up to 45 there per second, which for a 4-year-old laptop, it's not bad. This wasn't the top of the range laptop either, this was a 2070, there's a 2080 in that, so you can see we're dropping down here, but that's because the GPU and that has to learn, but you can see you're losing all the sharpness that you have in the decals and that. Too smooth to me. That's where if you're running in, it all depends on personal preferences, but I would run this, I would do DLSS, I would do quality up to get more FPS. But you can see more FPS here. Of running. That's where this is best actually. It's not so bad if you come to a stop, just see things. Not as bad, but whenever you start to move around and plan, that's when things start to get blurry. But yeah, we're driving through here now at 25 FPS, which is 10 FPS above what we were. In terms of percentages, that's an extra 60 to 70% roughly on what it was. That's why we're training again. But yeah, so that's a wee quick video on the different settings within FarmSim. You can see there it's jittering again, it doesn't shader catch. That's the first time the trains come through at this graphic settings. And you can see that under 30 FPS, I think down to 15, 16. Very jittery as you're moving around. But, okay. Tab back in. So yeah, that's a brief overview into the different graphics settings and a wee look at what it runs like on this laptop. And I'm going to plug this into the external GPU now with the 4070 and do a wee test with that, and that will make quite a difference. And that's more of a 1440p card as well, so it will run the game considerably better than this does. So yeah, thanks for watching and tuning in, and I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or if you want to know anything, do send a wee message, leave a comment. I'm active on Instagram. I'm on Instagram very frequently. I might not post every day, but definitely useful to get a wee look at this. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I've been Air Valley Simulation. Thank you.